Hey, did you know it's a great day to wear a watch?
What's up, Schwartz Force? Welcome back to the channel. We're doing another video. As you can see in the title, it is the Lobinni Interlaken. Is that Italian? Probably not. I think it might be Chinese, but we'll see. Anyway, sounds like something the Mario brothers would wear. And this is the Interlaken, and a really cool watch. Handwind mechanical movement. I'm going to go into all the details, the specs for you guys, and also tell a little bit of a story with this watch. I'm going to be giving it away, and I want to share a little bit more behind that. But before we do that, in case if you're new to the channel, my name is Dave. May the Schwartz be with you. Hey, did you know it's a great day to wear a watch? Boom, there we go. We got the Alpina Star Timer automatic chronograph pilot watch. Look at this thing. Bam, in your face. And I have it on this nice Strapsco. It's like a black leather with white contrast stitching, kind of a Hamilton style pilot watch strap. I love this thing. Great combo pairing, in my opinion. Whoa, look at the hair's getting crazy. Huh. But I want to share with you guys about this particular watch and why I'm going to be giving it away. A little bit of a backstory. So I have a really good friend of mine. I'm pretty sure he's not subscribed to my channel, which is a damn shame. He should be. But in case if he is and he's watching this, hey, spoiler alert, Richard, I'm giving you this watch for your birthday this month. This guy I've been friends with since like 7th or 8th grade. One of my best friends. And so we had this thing where, like, as I was a teenager and throughout the years, I'd wear a watch, usually just one watch, and then once I would buy a new watch, I would kind of give it to him because he'd make a comment and I knew he liked it, and I'd be like, here, man, you can have it. And usually be like something like a Fossil watch or something like that. And so I'd give him a watch and then, you know, rinse, repeat, and we did this a couple times. And he never asked for my watches. It was just weird. It was like kind of like a, hey, I'm not going to wear this anymore. Do you want it? Kind of thing. Anyway, so fast forward, as we get older, you know, things change, and his parents, both of his parents have passed away. His father was a veteran of the military here in the US, and so he was actually buried at Fort Sam Houston. So when we went there, obviously I was wearing my suit and I wore this watch, a little bit more of a dressy piece. And I kind of knew what I was going to be doing in particular with this watch, and there's a reason I wore it. And I'm going to be actually giving this watch to my friend Richard, and I'm going to let him know that it's a Handwind mechanical movement and that I wore this to his father's service. And I just want him to know that at night, when you wake up, you have to obviously wind this daily. And whether it's before he goes to bed or when he wakes up in the morning, while he's winding the watch, to just kind of think about those moments he had with his father, growing up, those memories, and just cherish them and kind of tie that in with this watch. I think it'd be a really cool way to make this piece even more special. So I'm going to be giving him this watch, but let's go ahead and flip the camera around and just kind of give you a full review of it. So without further ado, let's check out the Lobinni Interlaken. All right, guys, voila, here we have it, the Lobinni Interlaken watch. And this came with the bag. Now, I actually picked this up pre-owned, so I was pretty impressed to see that the prior owner kept the box and bag with it. So that was pretty nice to see. I like that, you know, unfortunately, it's a little crinkled, but I do like that we have this kind of copper-colored embossed printing. It says here, a classical watch. Very fancy. And then here we have the watch box in this little cardboard paper sleeve that it slides out of. And then we have Lobinni Interlaken again in a silver foil embossed on the front. No other printing. And this does have kind of a padded case to it, so that's kind of nice. When we open it up, we see, oh yeah, under here, of course, our watch. And then there's this little, I guess they call it like washi paper. It's like a really thin rice paper, has this very intricate gold pattern. This is just kind of fancy, a nice little touch. So that's cool to see. And then on the inside of the case, we have our instruction or user manual. And then under that, we have our Lobinni Interlaken warranty card, international warranty. It's not filled out, that's okay. We'll set that aside. And then we have the watch on this very simple kind of cardboard covered holder. So one thing that is kind of cool is it has this embossed or pebbled embossed print here on this faux leather. So that's nice. You know, I can't complain. The boxing is really kind of a little bit above what you might get with a cheaper watch, so I do like that. But let me go ahead and we'll get up close on the watch itself. So we'll start with measurements, but first I want to show you how the watch actually wears on my 7-inch wrist. So it is a little bit larger, and you'll see here in the measurements, but on my 7-inch wrist, this is how it wears. Lug to lug height is almost right at the full width across my wrist, so that is something you just want to be aware of. But as far as how it sits on the wrist, really nice. Now, I'm not really a fan personally of high gloss, embossed leather like this, but to each their own. I would have liked to have seen it on a matte leather, but it looks great. Very dressy piece, as you can see. So we'll start with our measurements. So case diameter, if we go from right across there, is 43.5 millimeters. If we include the crown, it's going to put us right at 46 millimeters. Lug to lug height is coming in right at 51 millimeters. So again, very large lug to lug height, smaller wrist, beware. This probably isn't going to work for you. And then case thickness with this mechanical handwind movement, very thin for a mechanical watch, under 10 millimeters, which is great to see. And this was one of my pet peeves, of course, as you guys already know. 21 millimeter lug width. I just, 20 would have been fine. Even 22, since it's a larger watch, would have been fine. But 21 millimeters, it's just one of my pet peeves. The leather feels really nice. It is a genuine leather. Has broken in nicely, I should say. A little bit padded at the lugs, and then that does taper down, so you get kind of that dressy look and feel to it. And then, as you can see, comes on a stainless steel double deployant butterfly clasp. This is pretty nice just to come standard with its own butterfly clasp. Has Lobinni branding there, as you can see, and then some perlage there on the inside of the butterfly clasp. Really nice. Of course, looking at the back there, you see the movement. Very fancy. Now, they do have different color options as far as the dial. This is more of an anthracite or dark gray slate color. It's not sunburst, it's just a flat gray, and it looks great in my opinion. We do see a simple thin needle hand on the running seconds at 6 o'clock, and I like the dial layout. It reminds me of the Baume & Mercier Clifton model, where we have Arabic numerals at 12, 2, 4, 8, and 10, and then we have this almost like a dart or arrow shape indice at each hour in between. And this lighting can be a little bit difficult to read in shadows, but in direct lighting you can see very easy to pick up on those. So just something to be aware of. And then I actually like this pop of this kind of sky blue color for the numerals at each hour marker in increments of 5. I think that looks really cool. And then we see Lobinni Interlaken branding, which is printed under 12 o'clock. And then it says at the bottom under that, manual and winding. Now, very crunchy case shape. I think they did a really good job with making this watch look a little bit thinner or smaller than it is. So we have a flat sapphire crystal, and then we see high polish there on that smooth bezel, mirror polish finishing, and that does have just a slight step to it where it goes straight down to the case, and then we see it angle out more with a combination of high polish and brushed finishing. So we have brushing or satin finish on the front of the lugs. These lugs do curve downward, and then they have this flat edge, as you see there. A little bit of high polish that goes around, and then there's this stepped pattern right there, and then of course satin finish on the sides, and a little bit of high polish under the lip there. So just done really nicely as far as the way that the case shape and design is. I really like it. I think they knocked it out of the park with the overall design. Now we got to talk about this crown. It is a simple push-pull crown. So again, there's only going to be one position, and the second hand does not hack. So that's something you want to be aware of. One thing that drew me to this particular model is this crown, in my opinion, is very reminiscent of the crown you see on the FP Journe. And I think that's just really cool because it's such a unique style of crown. It just has this very intricate, almost like a curved or spiral pattern to the edge there. It's very easy to actuate, very large crown, but again, flat. And then we see the Lobinni branding there with the L and kind of this flower or clover pattern. I think that's pretty cool too. So, in my opinion, looks great. Now with the hand wind movement like this, you want to be careful because when you get to the end, there's going to be just a tad of resistance. I just hit it right now. So there's a point where it no longer will turn easily and you want to stop. Do not keep winding. You can damage the movement. You don't want to overwind a mechanical or hand wind movement like this. So let's go ahead and take a look at this movement. Now, the movement powering this watch is a Seagull. I forget the specific model of the movement. I like that there's an exhibition case back where you can really see the movement going to work. It does have really nice patterns, so you can tell they put some work and effort into finishing the movement. You see some perlage there on the back. I think it looks great. And then we see just along the edge here, I'll read out to you, ultra thin sapphire crystal branding Interlaken. And then of course here is the reference number, 50 meters of water resistance. So let me go ahead, I'm going to get the time graph and we'll take a look and see what kind of accuracy we're getting out of this particular movement. Okay, so I've had this running for a couple minutes. Keep in mind this really good amplitude. This is with it just about being fully wound. We're just under 300 amplitude, 0 beat error, which is great to see. 21,600 vibrations per hour, and it's hovering between +3 to +6 seconds per day, which is really good. I'm pretty impressed with that. And again, this is something that over time it may slow down a little bit, so you might even be more accurate in terms of your overall timekeeping throughout the day or the week, which is pretty nice to see. So overall, I'm really impressed to see these kind of numbers coming out of this watch. Now currently you can find these watches on AliExpress for just under about $180, but again, sapphire crystal, 316L stainless steel, mechanical movement, which is decorated really nicely. And I just think for your money, it's a great option if this is something that you want to pick up and keep in your collection. Now my buddy Richard also has a larger wrist, so I know this is going to wear fine for him, but if you have a smaller wrist, it's something you might want to skip and look for something different. I do wish the second hand would hack, but not a deal breaker for me. So if this is one you're thinking of picking up and you have a larger wrist, I think it's going to work great for you. So there we have it, the Lobinni Interlaken. I would love to hear your guys' comments and thoughts, of course, so please make sure you drop me a comment. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. That helps tell YouTube to share this video and my channel with other people who love watches and may not have heard of me, so I really do appreciate that. And of course, if you haven't joined the Schwartz Force yet, you can tap my logo over here, subscribe to the channel. Would love to have you be part of the family. And if you enjoy videos like this and want to see more, check this and this out, and I know you'll enjoy it. Until next time, may the Schwartz be with you. Take care.